My name is Robert M. Springer Jr., and I'm a retired Army Colonel, '06. Well, that was very complicated because, one thing, my dad, about that time, he went to Europe. And usually you have people in your family trying to help you get an appointment. But he was on his way to Europe, and at the same time when I was a junior in high school, I knew I wanted to go to West Point, so my mother took me to see doctors to have a physical exam to make sure that I didn't have some physical defects, and I did. I was very nearsighted. So they said, the ophthalmologist said I would never be able to get into West Point if I kept on in high school, because since I was nearsighted, it would make it even worse if I continued my studies. So he said, you have to take off for a year, do a lot of eye exercises, and if you don't do any reading for a year, and you do these exercises, you might be able to pass the test. So I quit high school at the end of my junior year and went out and worked on a ranch in Oklahoma for a year, doing just what the doctor ordered. Spent that year on horseback almost entirely, rounding up cattle, Stillwater, Oklahoma. And then in March 1945, but in the meantime, my father had talked with a senator he knew, and he got me an appointment to Annapolis, an alternate appointment. But after that, my dad was in Europe, so it was up to me. So I did a lot of calling around, and finally called a prep school where I thought they might have somebody that wanted a West Point appointment, or whether they wanted an Annapolis appointment. And I was about 16 or 17 then, but I was able to arrange a trade to get somebody else's West Point appointment for my Annapolis appointment. In those days you could do that. So that's how I got the West Point appointment. But after my dad was gone, I had to do that myself. And I was still working on the ranch. But in March, I took the West Point exam, physical exam, March of 1945. And at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. And it turned out they were so easy going there, I wouldn't have even had to do that year of preparation, because when I went in for my eye exam, the corporal who was in charge of giving the eye exams left the room for some coffee, and all the letter chart was still on the wall. So he didn't care. I went out, I just memorized the chart, and then when he came back in, I was able to pass the exam. So that year wasn't necessary, but I didn't know it at the time.